What's up, former party people? This is Jerry, you know, the one who actually combs his hair on the A is for Alcoholic podcast. Now, if you're finding value in listening to the AIFA podcast every week and you want to support sharing it with others, we invite you to become a sustaining monthly or per show contributor. Go to patreon.com/AIFA. It's super easy and it only takes a quick moment. It's about as easy as buying one of those pre-cooked space chickens from the grocery store, taking it outside, giving it a big old kiss, and kicking it into traffic. Why would you do that? Anyway, you do you, and I'll do me. Again, go to patreon.com/AIFA. And with that, people, let's start the show.
A is for Alcoholic is a program about recovery. My name is John, and I'm an alcoholic.
And my name is Jerry, and I'm an alcoholic.
Join us as we go through the alphabet of alcoholism, one letter at a time. Welcome back.
And we're back. Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm Jerry.
I'm John.
Wait, when do we do the introductions? Should we just do that right now?
We can do that right now. We can introduce ourselves.
This is it has no structure anymore. It's just off the rails.
I was thinking about that, and I know that you and I have had discussions offline, or about like, well, what are we gonna do, or are we gonna be able to fucking stretch out, like, I mean, what, 10 years of episodes?
I saw your Instagram story where you're like, will someone please just give me a topic? And then I felt for you, and I was like, good, John's fucking actually putting the work in instead of just complaining like I do.
Right? Well, I have a couple of different little notebooks with just lists. Like, it'll be L, and it'll be like, live and let live, liver and onions, or whatever. And I just write a bunch of stuff kind of brainstorming. And so, but I also, if there's things that I'm missing and there's blind spots that I don't see that people are dealing with, or stuff that even we may have gone over in the past, but people, I can have a fresh perspective on certain things that, 2 years ago, we may have done an episode, but those episodes 2 years ago were a little rougher than I think that we are.
And we have different perspectives now too. Like, I watched this thing on YouTube where it was that Billie. Are you familiar with Billie Eilish?
Yes.
The singer. She's like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
She's this tiny little person.
She's turned 18.
But they asked her. Yeah, they asked her the same question 3 years in a row. It's like the same 3 questions this interviewer asked her each time. And granted, she went through some giant changes in those 3 years. But I guess a lot of us have gone through giant changes. No, you know what? I want to rephrase that. We all have gone through giant changes. So I can see us hitting the same subject again. Like looping back around and being like, well, here's my perspective on it now. You know?
So again, there's part of me that's like afraid that I won't have enough to talk about, but I don't think that you and I have ever had an issue not finding something to say about something.
We can fill an hour, even if it's just us talking about running or or food or something for an hour. And I understand that there are probably listeners who are like, man, I just want to hear drunk shit, about 2 drunks that aren't drunk anymore. And we're over here being like, well, let me tell you about my favorite running shoes, but whatever. This is just the conversations we have.
Which, by the way, mine are the Merrells. I'm a size 12. It's the Trail Glove 4. I'd prefer red. They're discontinued, and my birthday is coming up March 3rd.
Oh, is this for your like a fucking wish list? Is that like
Amazon wish list?
Just start camming. You should start doing cam shows. You've lost enough weight now. You got that. Yeah, you can be a zaddy.
A zaddy?
Zaddies.
I don't know what a zaddy is.
I don't either. Just the kids
daddy?
say it. I guess it's like like you could just be a daddy. It's just like John cleans his room in a fucking thong or something, and then you're like, have a wish list. You're like, I need these discontinued Merrells.
Well, I guess what I why I reached out was like, I just don't want to be in some sort of blind spot where we're sitting here repeating the same things or ignoring things that we're like, yeah, man, we already talked about that. And there was a few things, and I we'll do this on later episodes because I have a topic for today. But one somebody reached out to me and talked about like what's up with nicotine and like quitting cigarettes while you're quitting alcohol. Like, do it, don't do it. Some people can handle it, some people can't. You should wait a year, wait 18 months, and
well, we've talked about that before. But I'm down to
there was
loop back around.
There was another somebody who said, "Hey, what about sleep? I can't fucking sleep." Or they said, "I think I sleep all the time." And And I'm like, we could talk about sleep. And so there's lots of different topics going out there. And so
Right.
I when I extend myself out here, it's mainly because I don't want to miss something,
Right. And I appreciate you doing it because I don't do it. My past few Instagram posts, I've even been like, I don't even know what to write anymore because I think I've been pushing myself so hard to try to be like this like super emotionally centered, inspirational person instead of just being me, And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, forgive yourself and love yourself, which I honestly think you should. But at the same time, I'm like, that is a weird suit for me to put on sometimes because that's just like not really, it is me, but also not, I don't want to force it.
Well, I think
It's weird.
I think that you do you is what you like to say.
Right. And I think I put pressure on myself sometimes because I feel like I'm being this voice of recovery advocacy now that we're making it public and being more out and open. Whereas before, when it was just you and I talking to each other, I was more dealing with my own recovery. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not having to really consider, honestly, in all selfishness, I wasn't having to consider my words or actions. You know what I mean? Because other people weren't listening to them, and now I feel like people are listening to them, and so I have to be really considerate of what I say because I can't paint every picture in black and white. Everything has gradations. It's a spectrum, man.
But I don't think being an advocate for recovery, like you say that almost, it sounds to me like you're saying that in a way like, hey, don't listen to me because I don't want to be responsible for somebody else's.
Oh, I've straight up written that and put that online, right?
But I think you would say you're an advocate for recovery for anybody who doesn't want to drink anymore and is still drinking.
And that's a really good perspective on it.
So I think that's it's hard too, right? Because you're sitting here and we'll have a conversation before we turn on the microphones. And it's sometimes, not all the time, but it's sometimes different than when we turn them on because you know that you have to be a little more maybe delicate or you don't want to come off. You don't want the wrong thing to be, you might say something flippantly and then somebody hears it and they're like, what the fuck is that? Like, why would he say that?
Right.
And a lot of times we're joking or it's just kind of this sort of, you're weaving in and out of not just I want to be helpful and I'm in recovery, but also like,
with a capital R,
fuck around and find out, or what is it?
Fuck around and find out. They're just like, dang, Jerry's hella racist,
right? Or something like you're like, what happened?
But I'm not. I don't think I'm racist.
You're not,
I don't know. I haven't taken the test yet.
I mean, that's a whole thing. Like Rashida and I.
Is that our next? Is that R?
Oh, sorry, racist. No, Rashida and I had this whole discussion about like, inherent racism and how it's built in and like why certain like media, the way that black and because I'm white and she's black, and like I'll look at black movies and like black movies, quote unquote, and something like Friday is fine. I see it as something that's marketed toward me or acceptable for me. But when there's like a drama that has an all black cast, I immediately like look at it and go like, yeah, that's not for me. That's for a black audience. And I mean, I don't see it in that way. And we talked all about it. We did one episode of the podcast about Black History Month. And I was like, I don't know where that comes from, and we like, why do I feel that way? And is it some sort of like taught, was I taught this from some like deep fucking racist, oh, the minstrel show is fine, but like anything that see somebody with black skin that has some, more complexity as a human being, like for whatever reason, is that, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the deep psychology of it, but we talked about that because she started this, I didn't mean for this to be a promotion about her, but
so listen to Rashida and John.
But she started this blog where she did this audio blog. So it's something she writes and then she puts it up on YouTube, and she calls it her Black Mystery Month. And so it's stories from her life that are uniquely her, not just because she was saying she felt like, we celebrate Black History Month is great, but it seems like we celebrate the same dozen people. And there's all these different, there's tons of there's millions of black people in this country and beyond, and everyone's got a story. And so go listen to it if you want. Don't if you don't. We're not here to talk about that. But
We went down a path, but that's all right. That's all right.
We got to fill an hour.
We got to fill this hour somehow.
But so
there's literally like just 5 people being like, oh,
Jesus Christ, what?
It's like when I when I used to listen to Joe Rogan and he'd start talking about fighting and I'd just turn it off. Or like there's another podcast I listen to called The Daily Zeitgeist, and the minute they start talking about basketball, I just turn it off. I'm like,
oh, you don't just hit the 30-second.
Well, lately I haven't been listening to it because it just makes me so depressed.
Right.
But yeah, because they get into politics and shit, and politics make me sad.
Yeah.
But that's neither. That also is not conducive to the recovery world at this point.
No. So making sure that we stay on track and that we have topics and subjects that both you and I enjoy. I'm not, or that we're, at least somewhat, we're interested in and we're capable of talking about. But
yeah,
so I thought today, and since the podcast has gone off the rails anyway, we're going to do 2 letters for one episode, which
we get next week off.
Exactly.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
But yeah, so I thought I would do G and H together because our good friend Casey Deck, who just recently, celebrated a year sober. He
friend of the pod,
of the pod, as they like to say in the pod world. I don't know if he came up with this or if he said he heard it from somebody, but it was, you can either be grumbly hateful or humbly grateful. And so I really like the G and the H together, and they just happen to be next to each other in the alphabet, and we just happen to be right here. So, and the idea of grumbly hateful or humbly grateful is, I think the way that I interpret it is this choice that you can have, this choice of perspective, which in and of itself is sometimes annoying and frustrating because it's like, oh, so it's up to me to have the right perspective. Why does it always have to be up to fucking me? Why can't somebody else have the right perspective in my life to make me feel better? And that makes no sense. But do you know that feeling where you're like, I have to take responsibility for myself, but I don't want to take responsibility.
I'm not familiar with it. Yeah, I feel that shit all the time. And it's harder now because I have to own it, and so now it was easier to come to that conclusion when I was drinking and live with it and be like, it is absolutely always someone else's fault. And now that I'm not fucking drunk all the time, I'm like, damn, that was totally my fault, and I need to own that, or I need to own my actions, or I need to own my way of thinking, even before the actions, Yeah.
And you were saying earlier, I think.
Humbly grateful.
Humbly grateful, right? You were talking earlier about the series of minor annoyances, Lemony Snicket and the series of minor annoyances.
Yeah, exactly.
Your cat's eating disorder and the general ennui, and I don't know.
Just the general ennui of having to clean the shower and wash dishes and get kid to bed and get up early and not sleep, go through another round of insomnia. This has been pretty rad. And then they prescribed me I told the doctor I want a pill to fall asleep, but I want something non-narcotic. Like I want something non-habit forming because I'm an alcoholic and I don't know how I'll do with something that my body wants, like a barbiturate or something. So she gave me this antidepressant, but she's like, you need to take it 8 hours before you wake up, though, because you'll be all fucked up if you don't sleep the full 8 hours. But the thing is, like, if I'm not asleep by midnight, then I'm like, damn, I can't really take this pill because I got to be up at 6,
So you need to take it preemptively?
Yeah, which I don't want to start having to rely on a pill preemptively regardless of whether it's habit forming or not, So that the whole sleep thing with me has been like it's on and off issue since, like, the summer of, like, 2017. It's really weird, man. It like comes and goes in spurts. And I think last night was just a fluke. But anyway, that was part of all those inconveniences of life, right? Like, yeah, that's just life. We get older, we sleep less. Like, I don't sleep 8. I don't think I've slept 8 hours in a year.
Really?
I think I got 7 hours and 20 minutes of sleep. That's the best sleep I've gotten in 18 months. Yeah. I average about 5 to 6 hours of sleep every night.
Do you so
even on the weekends when I'm supposed to sleep in?
I have a lot of issues still sleeping. But do you turn your phone off and do all the stuff that you're supposed to and turn all the lights off and
like if I'm lying in bed and I'm not asleep within half an hour and I'm still awake, I get out of the bed and go to another room. I've just destined the bedroom's just for sleeping. I'll read my iPad a little bit at night, but I also have it set to to the yellow light and I turn it way down and I have it on night mode. So it's, because I every time I read books, I like pass out with the light on.
Yeah.
I would buy a fucking Kindle or something, and then because I do pass out when I read books, but for some reason Reddit has been hard for me to pass out to.
Reddit always seems like, well, because you don't know where you're going with that. You don't know what you're going to find, and so it's more of a novelty. Which you say you do pass out with Reddit, or you don't?
I do. Yeah. Well, usually I feel myself starting to get tired, and I try to be asleep by 11. So I'll just fold up the iPad and go to sleep.
Right.
But that's usually my thing. Like around 10:30, I'm like, all right, it's time for bed. My kid's in bed by 10, man. I'm like the worst dad ever. She should be in bed by 8 or 9.
Oh, I thought that's late for the kid. Yeah.
That's just normal for the kid to be in bed by 10. That's her bedtime is 10. She wakes up tired as fuck. I'm telling you, man, I'm not the greatest dad, but I'm pretty sober, so
Well, I'm sure she likes you.
Hey, get your ass to bed. No, she loves me because I let her go to bed at 10 instead of her friends. She'll go and hang out with her friends, and at 8 o'clock they're like, it's bedtime. And she's like, word? Who the fuck goes to bed at 8? I'm like, other kids do. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, other kids who aren't raised by artists.
So how do you, like you say, like raised by artists and being an artist and being somebody who's creative and wanting to just kind of do your own creative thing? That's also like defining success and feeling happy or comfortable with it, or feeling grateful that you have this gift instead of feeling miserable that you have to use it for something you don't like. Or I don't know if there's a question in there other than how are you dealing with it today?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, there's ups and downs with it, right? Because I have to depend on being on point with that all the time. And so there are periods of time where I don't want to be on point with it. Yeah. Like I just don't want to work against all of my artistic instincts just to make someone else happy. And then there are times where I'm like, it's just part of the game. It's just part of the job. I need money to pay rent, so I have to do these things regardless of whether or not they nurture me, because am I going to sit around and, like, that's the whole humbly, grateful, grumbly, hateful thing. Like, I'm going to sit around and be upset that my delicate artistic ego isn't being fucking nurtured. Like, and I do it all the time, and then I get all mad, like upset at myself because I'm like, really? You're mad because you don't get to draw the things you want to draw? Like, at least you're doing this for a living. Like, other people, and then that pisses me off when people say it to me, like, well, other people have to work a lot harder for less money. And I'm like, I understand that. Like, it doesn't make me not aware of that fact. It's just,
That's a little bit, so Hank, that's a little bit of like a false equivalency, because there's a lot of people who have to work a lot harder for a lot less. In this, I think in this instance too, if you look at the experience you have in the job that you do, that's where the value comes in, not how hard your day was this day.
Right.
The value that you have comes with the 2 decades of experience that other people don't have. But, I was in my therapist. I didn't think I would ever say that, but we were talking.
Here you are, though.
And we were talking.
You should be saying Theraflu.
My Theraflu.
My Theraflu.
Do you
mix it with vodka?
Did you make hot toddies with Theraflu? I probably did at one point.
I mean, not intentionally. In my stomach, I have, but not in the same. Yeah.
That sounds like some shit I would do, like heating up some whiskey.
Shit I absolutely have done. Not in the same cup, but definitely drank the Theraflu and then like 2 shots of whiskey and then been like, let's see where we go.
Oh, man.
You have the flu. It will now get worse.
Right. My therapist, I was telling her something about, having to work and trading my time in for money and not doing the things that are fulfilling to me. And she's like, John, you need to kind of write it. You need to write it down, is one of the things she said, which was a direct correlation to the program that we're in about writing things down, taking inventory. And she said, well, what if you realize, you get to do your creative stuff. What if you got to do it 60-40? And immediately in my head, I'm like, that's not enough. I want to do it 100%. I want to be fulfilled 100%. That's what I'm thinking in the back of my head. And she's like, so look for those things. Like, what can you basically take inventory and see where you're at, instead of look at the evidence rather than how you're feeling about it. And to help, the way that I interpret it is that can help shape my future feeling. Yeah. Like, oh, she's right. It's not that bad. I got to do a bunch of cool stuff today. I'm going to get to do a couple of cool things tomorrow, and then I got to work all weekend, and that'll pay the bills, and then I can start again next week.
Right.
And another, she gave me this handout. She's really all about, I've got a couple different papers from her, but she was basically saying that like there's this, we were talking about anxiety. And she was saying, and comes from, I think, anxiety and that ennui and the depression, like they're all kind of related one way or the other. I mean, they're not all the same exact thing, but she was saying it goes thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and there's this circle, right? So the thoughts, something bad will happen, I won't be able to cope. The feeling, being anxious. The adrenaline, tense heart racing, breathing fast, shaky, lightheaded, sweaty, etc. The behaviors, avoid or escape. Not go out, make excuses, leave early, safety behaviors, help us cope in the situations. So basically it's like it can start anywhere. So like if there's a bad behavior and then that leads to a bad thought, which then leads to a bad feeling. Or if I have a thought that like, oh, fucking life sucks. And then so now I feel in my body, I feel bad and miserable. And then I don't know, I overeat or I drink or I'm not as engaged in my relationship or whatever.
Right.
You know, so it's like this cycle. And she's like, if you can define those things, even just briefly, and then you can break that cycle and you can replace it. So that's the whole thing. And I say we, like you and I, had this whole destructive way of living, it was we talk about the unconscious program versus the conscious program. It was unconscious, it was chaotic, it was sloppy, it was ill-tempered and ill-manicured. It didn't serve anything. And so piece by piece, brick by brick, nail by nail, you begin to put in place other things that work, right?
Right.
So like when you say about you say something that you didn't mean or that you then have to apologize and you're like, shit, I got to take responsibility for that. That's a new thought that before when you were drinking, maybe you would have been like, fuck it. It's their fault anyway. I'm going to go get drunk.
Oh man. Yeah. You double down. You absolutely double down. It's not even like I'm going to go get drunk. It was like, fuck you. What you said to me hurt my feelings and made me feel lesser than. So I'm doubling down now and I'm going to hurt you back even more. Or what I said to you bummed you out and you're angry at me. So now I'm doubling down on it. And I don't like you anymore. Fuck you. I don't need to listen to you anymore.
Yeah.
You're out of your mind. I don't drink too much. You don't drink enough.
I think I may have actually heard you say that before. Yeah.
I have said that. I had it on a business card. I had it on a t-shirt, iron on letters. You were talking earlier about compromise, right? When you're talking about you want it 60-40 and you want it 100 and you have to learn how to compromise, which is absolutely part of recovery. Because I think some people look at compromise and see it as a weak thing, but I've always looked at it, especially in recovery, compromise is adaptation. And all adaptation is just a new way of surrender. Do you know what I mean? Of releasing control and relinquishing control is an adaptation. That's compromise because I'm no longer in control of this. This isn't on my terms. This is life on life's terms. And now I have to adapt to what life's terms are. So I can still feel fulfilled as a person or still feel like I have my own autonomy and I have my own, you know what I mean? Like my own voice or whatever it is you're looking for, but still, because life and circumstances and honestly, in all frankness, other people don't give a fuck. It just does. They don't care. Some people do, but do you know what I mean? In general, normal dude out there in the street, your normal NPC walking out there doesn't give a shit. Unless you fall over in the grocery store, then they care. But other than that, like, they'll cut you off. They won't use their blinkers.
Yeah.
They'll plow right into you. They don't. Because they got their own shit.
And for those of you non-gamers out there, NPC is a non-playable character.
Right. Because that's what I look at, like, people at the grocery stores. They're giving me a quest.
They're like,
I'm on it. Or I'm returning the items to them as the quest giver. And I'm like, well, here are my egg whites or whatever. Here's my protein powder. I haven't bought protein powder yet. I have to lay off of dairy now. So all my smoothies have been coconut yogurt, which is good, but
Not the same.
There's no protein in it. Yeah, Greek yogurt's like chock full of protein. But I need to lay off the dairy because it is that all the probiotics and the dairy together just straight wreck my life at night.
So, wrecking my life at night.
Just farting up a storm.
Someone
just the worst
wrecked
gas.
my life tonight.
Right, but then they say if you eat the protein powder, it like makes it even worse. So I'm like, damn. And then one of the guys I work with is like, crack a raw egg into your smoothie, and I'm like, and actually that's not a bad idea, but I also don't want salmonella. So, right, and my whole life I've been taught to not get salmonella.
I think that's a lesson you should continue to follow. That's a good
don't
one.
get salmonella. Rule number one.
So you said you were talking about NPCs. You were talking about people don't give a shit, and
Yeah, I know. I went off on a tangent, and now I'm talking way far away from the mic. Sorry
That's
about
okay. So things get a little hectic here in the studio. I understand.
Yeah.
So it's not just that people don't give a shit, but I think sometimes people don't have the capacity because everyone's carrying their own load. Everyone's got their own shit to deal with. So I mean, and
absolutely,
some people don't,
yeah.
and some people can't, and some people don't even have any idea because their own cat has an eating disorder. Right. You know what I mean? And so like they got to go home and they're just trying to get the right cat food or get the right food and get the fuck home. Or you know,
it's a good clarification because the way I kind of colored it was like people are malevolent and mean, and that's not how I meant it. But I come off that way.
But it's easy for us. I feel the same way. For me to go like, yeah, people just don't give a fuck. That's easier for me to walk around and be like, yep, see, that's the reason my life sucks is because people don't.
But the problem is that. The problem, not even the problem. The thing is, you're saying is they just give a fuck about what they have going on in their life right now. Right. Yeah, with their cat's eating disorder. It's not an eating disorder. Megan said she has issues with food. Jerry, she's got issues with food.
But maybe I'm paid.
It's not like the cat's like, yo, I'm too fat, or like has, you know what I mean, like body dysmorphia.
What is the cat's issue with food?
She was part feral, so she had to like get it when she could get it. So now it's like eating to her is like this really desperate thing, so she gets very loud and very desperate and really pushy, and it's not like she's got no fucking chill. Like if she hears she gets into things. She got into the dog food the other night. It was on top of the dryer. She got up on top of the dryer and bit a hole in the dog food bag and started eating the dog food. She got my wife's lunch box open and ate a bagel.
This is an eating disorder, Jerry.
She pulled a sourdough bread down from the counter and ate like a quarter of the loaf. I thought she was gonna die. I was like, "You ate that much bread." Yeah, like the cat, like is so food focused. She's worse than the dog.
She's like
the dog is really.
She's carbo loading. It sounds like
she's getting big and strong so she can get out of here. Then when she gets back out there again, she's gonna go out into the world. She's gonna go out.
You think she'll? You think she'll like? You think she'll go out once you get her? I mean,
she'll come right back again though, because she's like, well, I could eat this squirrel or get that good wet food that Jerry's got back at the crib.
What do you get her? Like a fancy feast salmon or tuna or?
It's just those ones that are $1 a can, or 69 cents a can from Safeway. Nothing too fancy.
Like the Happy Family, Western Family. values.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But from what she was eating before, like the house she lived in previously, the guy was, he's a drug addict, and the house is in total disrepair, and he's got problems with hoarding, and the neighbor was telling us that the cats get in through a hole in the floor in his house to get fed, and he like hoards cats. Like he's got like 13 or 14 cats, so they all got to fight over one bowl. And she's little, not anymore. Now she's getting fed well, so she's a big girl. She's a chonk. Yeah.
Chonk, yes.
She's chonky, dude.
It sounds to me like she might need to go to like an ACA meeting. Adults.
Probably, yeah. What is that?
It's adult children of alcoholics.
Right. Because she's like, my last dad is an active drug addict. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's just that everybody has their own thing. And I think that in having that perspective, and there's a Tom Papa joke, not from his latest special, but he talks about like the people at CVS wanting his phone number. And he's like, look, man, I just want to get in here. I want to get this ointment and go home and take care of this, okay? I don't want to talk to you about my number. And so that's what I imagine people are out there just like, I got to get the fuck home and handle this business. I don't even want to be out here. And I hate it. Like, the grocery store is just like, it is It is a nightmare to me anymore. And I don't remember if it used to be like this, if it's just me, but it just seems like nobody, you know, like you said, nobody cares. Everybody's out for themselves. And I try to go like, well, people have important things going on, important to them.
And that's right. Compromise and acceptance. That's probably what if we could find a G and an H. For compromise and acceptance. It sounds like the route we're going down right now.
Compromise and acceptance.
Right.
But dealing with somebody who's come from a traumatic childhood, even if it's a fucking cat.
Right.
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 So like, be grateful that this cat is not still having to go through a hole in the floor to get fed. Like
now she's going through a hole in my heart. You know? I don't even like her anymore. I'm just like, get away. Stop meowing. The cat loves my daughter. So the dog loves my wife. The cat loves my daughter, and I'm just fine with it. I'm like, man, I miss having a fish. And then Megan was like, do you want to get another fish? And I'm like, fuck no. We got enough fucking animals in this house.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to have to feed everybody and then clean a tank every 2 weeks or a week.
No.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Maybe I was going to say get a bird, but you don't. That's another fucking.
I'll just water the plants and feed the animals every day. Clean out cat boxes.
So would you say like when we talk about like Grumbly, Hateful, and those hateful moments, and even in like compared now to like early recovery, I find that it's so much easier to deal with being upset and angry. And in fact, I can remember in the last 6 to 8 months, there's only been like 2 or 3 times where I was so miserable in my own head that like I just had to let it pass. It took like a day or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that I'm a lot better with like fucking bullshit. I can find something to be grateful for. I can find something to entertain me or to feel good about, or I have better tools to feel good when it comes up on me. I mean, do you find that like say Jerry in 6 months recovered? I mean, were you miserable? Were you relieved?
Yeah. Oh God, I was awful. Nobody wanted to be around me. People kind of want to be around me now. They're like mostly stoked I'm there.
Yeah.
But those first 6 months were awful.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was. I can't. It's so hard for me to even recall our recovery because it was chaotic that emotionally it was so chaotic that I can't even tell you what I was feeling. Like as far I just can paint it in wide strokes. I can't think of details because there were no details. It was just a lot of desperation and anxiety and a lot of frustration and a lot of anger and a lot of desperation, so.
And that, but you wouldn't say that you feel desperation now.
No, I don't feel, not necessarily. I mean, I would like some pecan pie, but that's not desperate. That's just pie.
That's just managing your calorie count, right?
Exactly. Like I can go get a piece now. But no, I don't feel desperate at all. I don't feel those same feelings. I feel them to a lesser degree. Like yesterday at work, I was just saying like I always feel kind of anxious. But that's not true. I only always feel kind of anxious at work. Like there's always a low level of anxiety at work because there's a lot of personalities and there's a lot of strong personalities and there's a lot on the line. Do you know what I mean? Like there's always a lot on the line. But when I'm home, I don't. I generally only feel that low level anxiety if there's chores to be done, which there are always chores to be done. But that's more of a reminding anxiety. Like that's more of like a just that kind of anxiety that's like, well, this is what needs to get done in this order. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. But I don't feel that same desperation or anger or resentment or frustration. All those negative things. It's just early recovery to me is hard. It's hard for me to even wrap my mind around what it was then because it was everything at once. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I think a person in early recovery would be more adept at telling you what it was like. It's not like it was 20 years ago for me, but it was, it was a long time ago for me,
Mm-hmm.
At least it feels like that in my perspective. People who have had longer will look at me and be like, but all we got is 24 hours. And I know that my span of 24 hours right now is not the same as my span of 24 hours in 2014.
Yeah.
It's not, man.
I feel like
not,
I feel like somehow the 24 hours I have now and the 24 hours I had in 2014, like, are you talking about early recovery, right? You're talking about, like, it's vastly different. Like, I feel like the time goes by faster now.
It does.
And it's but I'm much happier for it. I'm much more excited.
Yeah.
Like I wake up and I'm fine to like, oh, I can just get out of bed. And one thing, you talk about memory and trying to remember things, because I know that there's, again, huge swaths of time where, especially in drinking, like I don't really remember like 12, 13, 14, kind of like if you looked at my resume, I could know where I was at. And so that would kind of be like a better indicator. I could be like, oh, okay, I was living there and I was working there, so I was probably doing this.
Right.
But one thing that you said to me, and I've always tried to hang on to this, is, and I think you texted it to me when I first got sober, and you're like, just tattoo the memory of that last bender on your brain.
Yeah.
And so
this is one of those comments that would show up on an A is for Alcoholic bingo. Like if they did a bingo,
Right?
it would be like tattoo your last bender on your brain. Yeah.
that's totally.
But I can tell that it's sat with you like that, you know, and that's good that it's sat with you like that, because
and I don't
staying recollected, right?
Stay recollected. Is that a thing? Is that from the book or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. My dad says it to me.
Stay recollected.
You just gotta stay recollected, Jerry.
Gotta keep them separated.
Gotta keep them separated, Jerry.
So and the thing that I remember about the bender is not so much the bender, because I blacked out because I was drinking straight warm vodka from the bottle, but it was the aftermath, and it was the morning after and the day after and the night after, and just that day and a half, or that 2 days right after the last one. And it's
Right.
like, and I do, like you said, like your dad said, stay recollected. And it's been really helpful. And I go, ooh, that's, when you talk about, oh, my wife had a cold beer at dinner and it looked really good.
It
Right?
looked good because I was eating a hot pastrami sandwich and it is like sweat coming off of this Pilsner glass. And it wasn't like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I think other alcoholics will understand, I'd hope. Like, it just looked good in that moment. Like, in that moment, the light in the room hit it. And I was like, wow, look at you. I'm not going to drink you, but look at you, though. You know, like, but yeah, because I know the path it leads down. We were just talking, yeah. And like, one of my coworkers was talking about booze the other day, and I was talking about how she was talking about like bourbon and stuff, and bourbon was my shit, apparently. Like, I was like, oh, I'm a bourbon drinker. You know, pinkies up for my fucking Evan Williams. You know what I mean? Trying to be fancy. And I was talking about how I didn't like certain booze back when I drank and shit, and she was just like, what, so you can't even taste it now? And I'm like, no, you can't. I can't taste it. I can't get it in my mouth. Intentionally. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I took a sip of it by accident, I don't think I'd end up, waking up in jail or outside again. But
I don't think you would.
no. But if I like intentionally was like, taste a little bit of this booze, then where do I go from there? Then what is the next step? The next step is, oh, I can take a little sip, and oh, I earned a beer. Come on, a man's allowed to have a beer with a hamburger.
Come on, now.
And
I worked hard
where
all
does
day.
that fucking go? Because I know how I am. Because I just did this shit with Diet Cokes, with Coke Zeros, and went all wacky. And I'm drinking Coke Zeros again. I'm back off the wagon, buddy.
How's it feel? Feels good?
You know what it is? I've been doing it in moderation, actually, and it doesn't feel like booze. Like, it doesn't feel like me trying to moderate booze. Like, I'm not obsessed with it.
Right.
I'll, like, drink one can a day now. Mm-hmm. Even if that, like, if I'm not, I won't go to the store and buy because I feel myself in loops of behavior loops, right? Mm-hmm. But with the behavior loop with alcohol is it affects, we all know this, it affects your demeanor, it affects your mood, it affects the way you treat people around you. And it's just, that behavior loop, it just keeps, it's like snowballs. It just gets tighter and tighter and tighter and bigger and bigger and bigger at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I just have to, like we talk about tattooing the last bender on your head. I have to not just remember the fucking horrible demoralization of that last drunk, but just everything that led up to it, everything that laid out before it, and everything that laid out after it. Just like you said, it wasn't that drunk, it was the few days after the drunk. And for me, it was every day leading up to that drunk. I went the other way with it. Yeah, where I was just like, I don't feel that low anymore, man. Like, I get depressed sometimes. I get frustrated. I don't want to do things, but I don't feel that low anymore. I just don't even see it anymore. It's like all murky now. Like you know what I mean? But I know that I can push down and get down there again.
Yeah, if you need to, you can stick your hand down in there and stir up the
It's
silt.
like swimming in the river, stirring the silt up, right? The silt's all stirred up, so I can't see that rock, that bottom anymore. But I know it's fucking down there because I was just down there,
Jerry, you should
I don't
write
wanna
that down.
go
That's
back
good.
on
Yeah,
write that down,
I think there's a lyric in there somewhere.
Put it in your book.
the silty river of sobriety.
No, man, I was writing a rap the other day, and it went off on a really weird place about like, I used the campfire vampire rhyme scheme.
Nice.
And something about Teen Wolf riding on the roof of a van. I don't know, it got real weird. I like it though.
Good.
This is my new shit in my 40s. This is gonna get weird. I'm not even tough anymore. It's just everything's weird.
It should
but
be.
Anyway,
like what was up with Eminem at the Oscars? Where did that come from?
I didn't watch the Oscars. Did you watch?
I didn't
them? 'Cause
watch
don't
him.
have
I just
cable.
heard that he went up there and sang "Lose Yourself."
Right. I don't know. Maybe they just were like, oh,
We need Eminem, who hasn't.
They should have just had fucking Cats come out.
I think they did have some of the Cats. And do Lose Yourself as Cats?
As Cats, yeah. Have just the fucking dude from the X-Men doing Lose Yourself from the Cats. Magneto. Why can't I remember his name?
Ian McKellen?
Ian McKellen doing
Now that
Lose
would
Yourself
be
by
something
Eminem
special.
as a cat.
As a cat.
I want to watch Cats. I think I'm going to have a cat party here when it comes out. And just be like, who wants to come fuck with this movie with
I would
me?
love, dude, if you...
But I know too many serious people who are no fun. Like, you would come watch it with me and laugh your ass off. But everybody else I work with, they're also goddamn serious. They're like, well, that's just dumb. I'm like, I know it's dumb. That's why we're
doing it.
watching it. You fucking ding-dongs. Like, get in here.
Did you
Have a good
get
time.
my Facebook event invitation for my Cats party?
No. Are you having a Cats party?
No, I'm saying you. I just
for
imagine
me,
you
no.
like you're like
Oh.
I'm coming back to Facebook
So
and
literal.
I'm gonna
Just for this one thing. I'm back, baby.
Well, yeah,
What's
I
up,
mean,
my
that kinda
5,000 Facebook followers.
I think that
Cats party, my house, sober cats party.
So, oof. I think something like that to me is silly on so many different levels. Like
It just looks like it's gonna be so fucking funny, dude. Like,
and terrible, and like how they put so much money and effort and energy, and like it's just like so bizarre. And I'm not a music.
I love musicals.
I'm not huge.
A music aficionado.
No, I'm not a
I'll watch.
music theater. Like what am I trying to say?
Music theater.
Musicals.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not wasn't really into music theater.
Broadway?
I like movie musicals though
Yeah.
a lot.
So,
I watch the shit out of La La Land. I love it.
I haven't seen it.
La
It
La
was
Land
good?
is like one of my favorite movies. Yeah, it's fucking so white. I love it.
What about did you see Parasite or 1917?
Yeah, I loved Parasite. La La Land was from years ago, by the way. That was like 2016 or something. But I haven't seen 1917 yet. I saw Parasite and I saw Once Upon a Time.
I saw that
in
one,
Hollywood,
which I thought was.
Did you like it?
I liked some of it. I felt like the Margot Robbie portion of it didn't seem to go anywhere. It was just like following her around, and I didn't really understand why we.
It was the buildup of Sharon Tate because you thought at the end that Tex Watson was going to cut her open. So you're like, oh.
So
and then he doesn't. And you're like, oh.
I felt like it was too long.
Yeah,
Maybe
I love long movies, man. Like I sat through 3 hours of Doctor Sleep and I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed Doctor Sleep. I watched the whole thing. Yeah. And in fact, so Doctor Sleep, which is we're gonna eventually do this one as far as our recovery movie reviews. I got asked to be on another podcast, which I talked to you about with Dirk, from the VHS. You remember Dirk from Portland?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he does like movies and stuff, and so he asked me if not that I'm a recovering alcoholic, and it's a story about a recovering alcoholic. I'm not a.
He's not going to ask you about your latent psychic ability.
He can try. I mean, I'll give it my best.
Just hold up cards and be like, what is this?
What is this? What do you see? Speaking. Well, I did feel. Supposedly, I felt my own chi the other morning. That's
Weird.
not like I know.
But I think you should finish plugging your other podcast.
So he hasn't interviewed me yet, but it's called VHUS. So VHUS. And so basically what he does is he interviews people. He takes a movie, an old movie or a new movie, and then whatever the occupation is or whatever the protagonist is, he interviews somebody who has that job in real life. So apparently in this particular situation, he really liked the movie. I really liked the movie. And I guess my occupation is recovering alcoholic. So
yeah,
He's
do it for a living.
for a living. So that's cool. I'm into it.
Yeah, I
but,
think it'll be great. Yeah,
I think it'll be fun. So I like Doctor Sleep. I don't know why I don't like long movies anymore. Maybe it was just this one. I see that's
yeah. I liked it a lot. I liked all of it, but I also was looking at. I was coming from this weird place of nostalgia for a time I didn't live in. Mm-hmm. It was really weird. Yeah, I was feeling nostalgic for the '60s, even though I didn't grow up in the '60s.
Right.
So to me, it was like trying to put myself emotionally in this place there. But it was kind of, the end was kind of tacked on.
Two things. I mean, I enjoyed the action at the end, but I thought I could have used it a little bit sooner and maybe spread out or something. Like, I just felt like I had to wait 3 hours, and then it was like fucking wacky, zany, one after the other, you know?
Right.
And then Leonardo DiCaprio's performance as a fucking alcoholic.
He had some pretty interesting fucking alcoholic shit going on there, yeah.
I would love to just
when
even review that.
When he looks at himself,
yes.
Dude. That scene in the trailer where he looks at himself in the mirror and he's like, if you fucking drink again, I'll fucking kill you. Like, he's like, I will fucking kill myself.
My eyes started to tear up.
So did I, because I've been there. I've been staring at myself in the mirror and I've been like, I'm going to fucking kill you. You know what I mean? And so I was like, felt it in my heart. Yeah. And I was like, damn. And then what did you fucking drink anyway?
I'm almost immediately.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, immediately, yeah. So it's just like all these, you're even breaking promises to yourself, man.
So
damn, Jerry. But yeah, even that little part with him as an alcoholic, yeah, and his selfishness, it was really interesting.
I would love to, like, if I ever got to meet Leonardo DiCaprio, I would say, like, that would be the thing. I'd be like, dude, like, that scene in the trailer really hit home. Mm-hmm. Like, thank you.
You drunk? You're drunk, ain't you?
You drunk.
You're drunk, aren't you?
So
yeah.
Well, Brad Pitt is sober.
But, yeah, he apparently. I don't know, man. It always shows up. I type, I hashtag recovery one too many times and it always shows up. Like, once I hit the little magnifying lens to look at new stuff, it's always just like, Brad Pitt's sober. And I'm like, okay. Like, Tom Brady or some motherfucker I don't know. And I'm like, okay.
Marsha Brady.
Yeah. Sober as fuck.
Where were we about being humbly grateful, grumbly hateful?
I don't know. See this, and then let's talk about the concept of humility. Is always so hard for me to wrap my head around, even in meetings when they bring it up and they're like, "Today we're going to talk about humility," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, I've always had a difficult time wrapping my head around that. Like, I'm not supposed to walk around feeling like I'm cool. Like, I don't know, because to me, humility sounds like being grounded, right, and being like not feeling a sense of superiority. But like, I've never felt superior that I couldn't fucking. That I have some fucking thing in my brain that makes me not handle my shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or what? That I pulled myself out of the hole and I'm like, oh, I'm better than all you drunks because I'm currently not drinking,
I think part of the way that I see it sometimes is humility is like knowing my place, and not in a negative way like I am beneath somebody, but knowing that I'm not better than anybody, that I'm not better than the person who's upset me at the grocery store for the umpteenth time that I can't seem to get over. I'm not better than my old boss from 3 years ago that I still carry resentments every once in a while and I can't seem to shake, like whatever the fuck that's about, I'm not better than these people, and it doesn't, because every time that I think that I am, I always feel bad. I always feel like, yeah, fuck that guy. And I'm like, he's not listening to me. I'm the only one who's hearing that in my head. And so, like, knowing my place in the world and how I can help benefit, support, listen, help, I said help already. But you know what I mean? Like, if you're like, yeah, John, I'm fucking feeling kind of whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, really? Like, so my place is to listen and to maybe, I'm not looking for a spot to chime in, or I'm not looking to be like, well, here's my insightful advice for you that you need to follow.
Correct.
But more like, so being humble in that way, that knowing where's my place, like it's a big puzzle, more so than like.
That's really good. That's a really good way of looking at it. That's real good, John. You talk great.
You like that?
But no, I appreciate the clarification. I didn't mean to interrupt you with my
that's all. Just
ego.
That it's more about a puzzle than it is about being beneath somebody.
Right. And I always thought humbly grateful was more like having this sense of gratitude and not having it because you feel entitled to what you are owed, but because you are being given something that you don't necessarily I don't know if deserves the right word, but that you're not necessarily entitled to. So you're thankful for having it because you're not like, well, yeah, of course I deserve this. I'm me and I'm the center of the universe, you know?
Right. And I think I can be grateful for the home that I live in now. And
Right,
I
right.
can want and work towards something bigger and better. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to be completely content and satisfied with every aspect of my life. And if I'm not, then I'm just being grumbly hateful.
Right.
You know, like, why can't I be really grateful for everything that I have and really excited about trying to figure out a way to have the more that I want? Because not because I want a better car. I don't really want, what I want is to pay off the one I have. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
right,
that
yeah,
would be
yeah.
the happiest thing in my life, rather than having a Bugatti or a whatever, you know.
Do you want a Bugatti?
No, I don't. I don't.
I know yours as an example. I'm like, what a
Weird. No, I don't really care. I mean, I
I have seen Teslas, but Tesla's not the same as a Bugatti, but they look cool.
they do look cool. I bet they would be cool to drive.
We're gonna go down this path right here. Like we're in the car the other day, and I was like, man, that Tesla's kind of looks like a future car, like not that shitty truck, but like that cool Tesla.
I have a
Anyway,
friend.
I
Well,
don't
I mean,
know.
there's no gas. That's something to think about.
Hell yeah, I'm not helping kill the world.
Or just
That much
your
more.
pocketbook either, you know. But no, yeah, it's just like I can still, if that's what I want, and there's nothing wrong with wanting a better car. If that's truly what you want, then fucking go. If that's gonna make you happy, right?
Find the
Find a-
way to accomplish it
Right.
within
Then that's
reason.
fine. I am not gonna be happy with a newer, better car. I'm
Right.
So it's like, although I think a Tesla would be pretty awesome.
Right. Matching
Gets-
Teslas. You go to the podcast awards and
In Burbank, Florida. I don't know. I don't know. I just want to be. I want to be grateful for what I have, and I'm also. Otherwise, what's the point of waking up? I mean, I guess, am I supposed to find complete contentment and nirvana and just be happy?
some people do.
Yeah,
Not us though.
not me. Not yet.
No.
I mean,
No, because I'm a fucking recovering alcoholic. I need something, goddammit.
right?
But some of us recovering alcoholics can like live like Gary Snyder, and you know what I mean. Back in the day, on a what is it, a bamboo mat in a fire watchtower. Did you ever read that Big Sur?
I did.
That
I
Jack
read
Kerouac
Big
book?
Sur.
Yeah.
I read. He was. Yes, I did. It was Big Sur, and then it was Dharma Bums and On the Road.
But anyway, some of us can live that, you know, bodhisattva lifestyle where you don't want for anything, and the only thing that fulfills you is that your spirituality. You know, not me though.
No,
Not me.
I still
No.
like the
I
creature
need
comforts.
fudgesicles. I want fudgesicles. I need clothes that fit. You know, ever since I lost all this weight, nothing fits. All my old clothes, none of them fit. I even started sewing them, taking them in and trying to tailor them. They still just. I have
Really?
a bunch of shirts I've tailored. Yeah, I have them sitting right next to the sewing machine.
Oh.
But even now, they're just large shirts that are taken in. They're just really long, but they fit now, and I'm like, huh. Anyway,
I wouldn't
that's
even
not
know how to
really-
do that. I would like cut a triangle out of the back and just duct tape it and then wear a jacket. So-
Boom! Yeah, you're like, hey, it's vented. They wear a jacket, but you have that nice vent in the back, though.
it's vented.
I watch videos on YouTube, and Megan is a pretty accomplished seamstress in her own right, you know, and so I learned how to do it. So I know how to do it now, but
You have access to a
I don't.
machine too, right?
and I use it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, a real nice one. A Brother, it's right here. I can't really turn my head because I fucked my body up today, but
Oh,
overhead presses, dude, don't push it. You know.
you shouldn't push anything. Somebody else reached out to me and they were asking about like, oh, I really fucking hurt my back running or something like that, and I was like, so whatever you did, don't do that again.
Right.
And go slower
Getting
and
chased
do
by a
less.
dog.
Yeah, basically. But
I'm supposed to run tomorrow, but man,
well,
I don't know. We'll see.
One thing that I did, so I did this last week, Thursday morning, and I'm scheduled to do it tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., which is early for me to be up and out. But I went with a guy at work, and we did like a 3-mile run. And it was super cool. It was actually really cool to go running with somebody else. And we kind of just kept the same pace, and we didn't really like talk too much. Like, it was almost, I kind of felt like, well, he doesn't have to be my friend, and I'm not marrying the guy. We're just
Right.
going running together for
Just running
40
together
minutes, you know?
Yeah.
So, it was cool, and it was great. And another person I've run with who has got much more experience, stamina, and strength than I do. And so this guy, when we went running together, he's 30 and I'm 43, and he's at about 240 and I'm at about 192 right now. So I am the one
192. Right on.
I know. So I'm the one who's got the experience, strength, and stamina, and as we were going, he's like, "Oh man, you were really booking it out there." And I was like, "I was just trying to fucking not look like a schmuck after I've been talking all this shit, about like running."
Right. That's why I don't want to run with anybody, because I'm like, listen, I'm going to run for about a mile. It's going to be about a 10, 11 minute mile. Then I'm going to walk for about a mile, and then I'll try to run the last mile.
But he was really interested in it. He was really like, after we were done, we stood on the street corner and we just talked for a while. And he asked me a couple different questions about like losing weight, and I sent him the app that you and I use, and he was, and then later I saw him at work, and he's like, "That app is scary, John." And I was like, "Well, it's what you eat that's scary." You know what I mean? He's like,
right.
I had these little like seed crackers or like no grain crackers or something, like some Healthy Mary's crackers. He's like, "They're so high in calories." And I was like, "Yep."
Yeah.
Yep. So I was like, it's
like 5 of them are 140. You're like,
yeah,
could have eaten 2 apples.
So it was cool.
You could put salt on the apple, I guess.
Put nice slices, dry them out, whatever you need to do, put them in the oven. But
right.
But it was cool. It felt really good. And again, there was that sort of, I would say this is my piece in the puzzle, is helping somebody else with something that I know, rather than just keeping it to myself and being that piece of the puzzle. And it felt really good. So that we did 3.5 miles, and then I just decided to go 3 extra miles on my own just because I was fucking stoked. I was just feeling.
And now your legs all fucked up.
Yeah. So, don't go too hard.
I decided to push it to 6.
Yeah, I should have just
now
gone
my legs
home.
fucked up.
So, but I did find a couple of stretching like yoga sequences that I think are going to work, and I just have to.
I'll send you a link to the one I do.
Okay.
And see if it's helpful in any way. I do it every time I run. So it's like 11 minutes worth of stretching, but it's all dynamic stretching. It's all movement.
Okay.
You'll see them and you'll be like, "Oh, I've done these."
Then I'm happy to try something new. And I mean, my whole thing is to get up in the
or don't try it all and be like, "Thanks," and then pretend you did it.
Thanks. No, I'll try it, dude. I mean, my thing is now I'm trying to get the habit of stretching. So I get up, and one of the first things I do when I go into the living room with my coffee is I put the yoga mat down. I don't get on it right away, but I just roll it out so that it's there.
Yeah.
So that's part of the thing.
Same thing with the working out.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I move the bench and the table out, after my wife and kid leave. It's the preparation of it makes you have to, well, now I have to do it. It's like you were saying about how you bring your shoes and shit with you in the car.
Yeah.
It's anything that even goes with like recovery. Do you know what I mean? Like prepping to be on top of your shit all day, even emotionally, like, all right, now I can get out there and be in the world and be a day walker amongst all these drunk vampires.
What is going to make you, what makes you feel good? What makes you feel prepared?
Right, exactly, yeah.
What makes you...
I don't know, I was just trying to button that in somehow. Trying to buttonhole that in.
Night walkers?
Well, just the whole idea of being prepared for recovery. I thought we were doing that Rogan thing where we started talking about UFC too much.
Probably. Is it
right.
MMA or UFC? They're two different things?
UFC is the organization. MMA is the type of martial arts they're doing.
Yeah, wow.
It's mixed martial arts. UFC is owned by a real right-wing Republican dude.
Sounds about right.
But he's a millionaire, though. Yeah, it's about right. Let's not go there.
No, we don't need to go there.
It's got nothing to do with recovery.
Nothing. I mean, I guess if the man asked me how to get sober, I'd probably feel inclined to help him. So, I don't know. As Jerry keeps his mouth shut.
I have no smart-ass thing to say to that. I was just like,
I don't know.
God,
I mean,
damn it, fucking service. Yes, John, service, fine.
Like, fuck you.
Fuck you and your politics. No, that's awful. Yes, service, fine. Yeah. We're going to talk about drinking, though.
Service, yeah. We'll keep it confined to our problems with alcohol.
Keep it confined to our problems with alcohol. Which I should have gone down that path, but whatever.
So being hateful, being grateful, all that business, it's getting over the fact that it's my choice and that I'm in control of it. And there's very few times, like I said, there's like 3 times in the last year that I can remember not feeling in control of it. Like really, Like, we all get bothered and we all get annoyed and we all get frustrated, and I get scared that I'm not going to make enough money, and then the next week comes by and I have enough money to pay rent, and it's not my favorite way to live, and I've lived much comfortably before, and I'd like to live more comfortably in the future. But, that reminding ourselves that this shit is fucking temporary, and we should probably try to have a good time and feel good about it.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Enjoy yourself and try to really take in the profound moments, because you don't get a lot of them.
Be grateful, because I'm 40.
But you get more if you're sober, though. I do have way more profound moments now than I did sitting in a bar. I mean, I've had some profound bar moments where I was like, whoa, that drunk lady took her boob out, or whatever.
But
whatever wild thing was happening. That guy threw up on a pool table.
Mm-hmm.
But the profound things now are way more depth. They're deeper. They have more significance to them.
It's not quite the same as when you're hitting 3 Mile Run and listening to, like, I don't know. I'll tell you, this is you're gonna laugh
Slow
at
Ride
this.
by Foghat.
No, but I might put that one on the list just for fun.
Should.
So this is what I did when I strained my leg. I went to therapy and I went for a run. I was dressed to go for a run. So I fucking dress to go for a run wherever I go now, unless I have to, like, impress somebody, which dressing for a run actually impresses people more than I thought it would. I just thought I looked like a fucking freak. But
right.
But I was running and I had the music going and I had it on the shuffle, and all of a sudden that song St. Elmo's Fire comes on, and I was like,
oh my
yes.
God, yeah.
And I was just starting. However, I don't know how
you push it.
Yeah, not push
you
it.
pushed it, didn't you?
So I pushed it during that song.
No, you pushed it. I'm saying you pushed it. Yeah.
Because I'm a man in motion. Something, something, something. St. Elmo's Fire.
You fucking dork. That's so awesome.
So, and that's what I did, is I
great.
pushed it because it felt really good, and then all of a sudden I was like, ow.
Right.
And then that was too much. And
you fucking St. Elmo'd yourself, dude.
I did.
You gave yourself the St. Elmo's Fire.
I did. It was
leg,
the St.
dude.
Elmo's Fire in my leg, and that was fucking Saturday morning, I think, or Friday morning, and I was like,
now
oh,
you gotta,
man.
now you gotta listen to, like, slow songs when you run.
Mm-hmm. I listened to
and walk. You're gonna have to start power walking if you don't take it easy, and that shit is wild. Yeah. Exactly.
Thanks again for listening. Our music, as always, is by Neglect. You can find more of his stuff at neglect.bandcamp.com.
And you can find us on all social media platforms that matter: Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can reach us at aisforalcoholic@gmail.com.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.